If you're not doing great work and making sure that your customers are happy, there's somebody out there that's trying to poach your clients.
100%.
And you don't want them to take that phone call.
Most clients are going to tell you what the problem is. And if you can listen to them and ask penetrating questions, you can get them to believe in and trust in you and your approach. There's a lot of salespeople out there that will just say whatever they need to do to try to get an account or sell. You couldn't pay me enough money to lose my morals, my values, and my integrity. So that's all I have in this world. My dad once told me that. He said, all you have is your last name and your integrity.
People will show you their true colors. You
100%.
just got to listen and watch.
So I don't cold call. I never will. I don't think that it's of value because I can't ask you for a meeting until I've given you something of value. And some salespeople might think that's crazy.
The sales world, like sales managers have to just melt it. They're like, hey, this JMO show, you're going to check it out. They talk a lot about sales stuff. You're a reciprocity guy. And the reason that you can ask the way that you can ask is because you give. It's like, I'm going to give you 3. And then I'm going to ask you for this little one thing. It's not, hey, I'm going to ask you for the one thing and then maybe I'll come back and get you a later date. You've carried your life that way and it's paid off.
I'm accessible as can be. I'm a weirdo that takes sales calls from people.
Whoa, you just opened the door up.
We are here with a legend. How did you get to this point? Tell us a little bit about, you got to feed that beast, baby. You're kind of flipping the script on that. Just talk a little bit about the mindset that you have.
Welcome to the JMO show. We're back.
Bears, baby.
Let's go.
I was a little upset. They had Caleb Williams hanging out with the Kardashian family.
Like keep them away. Keep the Kardashians away from our quarterback.
Away from my fucking ice
You want
man.
to talk about how to melt ice? That's how you melt ice right there. Keep the Kardashians away from our quarterback. This guy right here.
Keep them away from our Q.
The Iceman. That's the new Michael Jordan pose.
Yeah. He's going to be very, very good for a long time.
What an unbelievable season. I mean, considering he wasn't even accurate.
Yeah. He's only
still
going to get
figuring it
better.
out.
Ben Johnson's a fucking stud.
Just off the hook.
Stud. So I saw a video. They have this every year when they do the NFL coaches and team meetings in Vegas. All of the head coaches get together and have like a happy hour and hang out. And guess who the coach that wasn't there was? Ben Johnson.
Why wasn't he there? He was working.
He has no desire to be around the
He
other
ain't
coaches.
trying to be friends with
He doesn't want any
anybody.
friends.
No.
He just wants to fucking crush
He
them
wants
all.
to make friends with trophies.
I think we got a winner.
I love it. You're probably wondering who the heck you're talking with. By the way, this is the JMO show. Welcome to the JMO show. I'm here with the one and only Richie Marrero. Also a fantastic first name, but he goes by Richie, but his first name is actually Ramphis.
Yeah.
So I got to dig into that. Like, where does that name come from?
Yeah, it's Egyptian. The origin of it is Egyptian, but I am Puerto Rican, and my dad, they gave him that name. And if you know anything about us Latinos, when you have a firstborn, you name them after you.
Yeah.
And so I'm a junior and was named after my old man.
Okay.
But I didn't start using it until I was an adult. So I have another shout out here, a really good friend of mine, Chad Brody, High Dive Advertising. It's a digital media agency, kicking ass and taking names here in Chicago. They do, a couple Super Bowl commercials every year.
Oh, just a couple?
Yeah, they've done really, really well. And Chad's a fantastic guy. And Chad, sorry, Chad, I'm going to share how you speak to me off camera. But Chad says, what the fuck are you doing not going by your first name? And it was because when he called me and my name popped up on his phone, he didn't realize that my real name was Ramphis.
Yeah.
So Chad's like, dude, with a name like that, you should be at least embracing it.
Brand the hell out of that thing, baby. Yeah. Although the Richie's pretty good. I mean, a lot of people know you by Richie.
Funny story about Richie. I had a client, an older white woman, and she said, you're an adult, you should drop the IE. And I was like, whoa. Richie is unique to me. You could stop working with me. Yeah. So I always thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
But no, we still go by Richie.
Okay, well, she's got a real way with words. What a hell of a lady. I'm sure she's one of those practicing Christians too, right?
She's a good person, but I thought it was funny.
Interesting.
She might not be in the workforce anymore. That was like 10 plus years ago.
Well, she might have gotten run out by HR if she keeps saying things like that. Good God. She was HR.
She was a CHRO of a closely held business here in Chicago area. So yeah.
We're off to a great start. Speaking of that, let's just real quick just cover a couple things. Yeah. Richie is a partner at 360 Benefits LLC. He also is the founder of Pichon Golf.
Yeah.
I am currently wearing one of his fantastic apparel pieces. This thing is elastic. It's beautiful. It fits well. I said, Richie, there's no way I could fit in a medium because I've gotten a little chubby. And you're like, no, you're fitting in the medium. So now I have to start working out again.
You got to start working out again. But you do fine.
So how is the balance between the
question.
two?
I say I work my tail off with the stuff that pays all the bills. And as it afforded me the opportunity to do Pichon Golf. Pichon is just a great conversation. It's a great way to make relationship. I play a lot of golf, business golf specifically. And who's going to hate when you bring them an article of clothing that they can wear while you're golfing and talk business, talk shop. So it's been great.
I love it. Your methodology of networking is pretty cool because you have really leveraged the fact that you're a 4 or 5 handicap, right?
6 these days.
Yeah,
which is okay,
you're lying. You're probably more like a 2. He's the see. There's a vanity handicap, and then there's a guy who plays for money, right? And Richie's a guy who plays for money, so he's actually probably a 2, but he's saying he's a 6. And then,
I give myself a lot less putts than my friends give themselves. Let's just put it that way.
I've got a buddy by the name of Chris Hall that I play with, and he says never make a putt that you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like when it doesn't matter, don't make that putt.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's cranking that handicap up.
He's probably taking everyone's money.
Oh, he's hustling a little bit. Yeah.
No, but I like to putt everything out. But when your friends give you a putt, you got to take it.
Amen to that. So you started Pichon, but how long have you been with 360 Benefits? Kind of like what is that? Well, like what do you do?
That's a great question. I've been in insurance for about 15 years. Over the last about 10 with 360 Benefits. So 360 Benefits is a brokerage firm, boutique brokerage firm here in Chicago, founded by our founder, Bill Pragos, who I met about 11 years ago while I was still in the world of insurance, and kind of parlayed that into helping each other grow our networks. And I made a lot of introductions to him early on in that first year, many of which became clients. So he was like, hey, have you ever considered, the employee benefits side of the insurance business? And at that point I hadn't, but he was a founder who started the company with 3 kids under 3 and a non-compete.
Yeah.
So I believed in him.
I would say.
I think he had the grit.
He's got a little bit of guts and grit.
He's got some guts. I'll make an off-color joke, but when I was with him, I said every time he leaves the room, I could still see his nuts. But I believed in him.
They drag and leave a mark on the carpet.
But I believed in him, and I believed in what he was trying to build, which is helping organizations navigate this complicated world that we call benefits. It's the second largest line item on any company's P&L these days.
You had told me that before. That is just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And getting worse. The cost of healthcare continues to climb, so we just try to navigate within our abilities to move the needle for business owners, CEOs, CFOs, closely held businesses.
And the cool thing as a broker, right, you've got multiple relationships, 100%. But you really are just trying to place your client with the best opportunity. What's going to be most cost effective for them? And 100%. You're customizing that to like who they are, what their actual needs are, right?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I just say I'm a social worker by education. I say I just listen better than most people in my role. Most clients are going to tell you what the problem is. Mm-hmm. And if you can listen to them and ask penetrating questions, you can get them to believe and trust in you and your approach. And in an industry where interests aren't really aligned, and what I mean by that, JMO, is that we get paid a percentage of premium in the form of commissions by the carriers. So if our client's going to stay with us and we don't ever anticipate that they're going to go anywhere, are we doing our best to make sure that we can control their costs to the best of our ability? The way that we get compensated, there's no alignment in that, right? So we like to tell our clients, hey, this is how we get paid. These are the parameters and the levers that we can pull. And we have access to every carrier in the market, both on the medical and the ancillary side. We're going to do what's in best interest of you, right? Yeah. And if we do every single time we do what's in your best interest, you're not going anywhere. You're going to remain with us and you're going to be a loyal client for a really long time. And that's a win-win.
Well, that's the ultimate thing, because that is a highly competitive market. Yeah. And some of the best business development people in the world exist in that market. So if you're not doing great work and making sure that your customers are happy, there's somebody out there that's trying to poach your clients.
100%.
And you don't want them to take that phone call.
100%. And when they do take the phone call, we want the conversation to be, our broker will always have our best interests at heart. We have a great working relationship with them. We've had clients that have taken the phone call and then put our feet to the fire and say, hey, this is what they're saying they can deliver. Here's what and we just say, hey, okay, that's fine. Let's compare apples to apples and let's look at this process and make sure that you pick the one that is the right fit for you, and hopefully we win in that opportunity. So we're not afraid of competition. we're willing to put our, our heads out there and compete against anybody.
Well, if you don't lie,
yeah,
and you tell the truth, and you're trustworthy, you can be transparent.
100%.
It's the company that isn't transparent leads me to believe that most likely there's something that they've buried in there. There's some hidden cost. There's something they're not telling you. But if you're saying, hey, look, let's match apples to apples and see what's right,
100%.
you're probably exposing the other company.
100%. And we have. So yeah, when you put the, the proof is in the pudding,
See
right?
the smile came on his face because that seems like
it's fun. It's fun. There's a lot of salespeople out there that will just say whatever they need to do to try to get an account or sell. You couldn't pay me enough money to lose my morals, my values, and my integrity. So that's all I have in this world. Yeah. My dad once told me that. He said, all you have is your last name and your integrity. So
that's good advice. You know what's interesting about you, Richie, and I've had several interactions. We played golf together. You were on the Golf with JMO show. That was one of the funnest episodes, by the way, that we did. Can't wait for you to roll it back on 2.0 this year.
Working on the putting. We're working on the putting.
I got a Scotty Cameron now. It's the right offset. We're good. I'm actually draining some birdie putts now. So I made 5 birdies on Saturday and took home some money. So that was good.
I love it.
But God, that was 3 putt pars, man. 3 putt pars. That's a T-shirt.
On T-shirts and hats.
It's 3 putt pars. What's interesting is every time that I interact with you, and I try my best to say, hey, what can I do for you? Or how are you doing? But you're always first to it. You're always first to ask how somebody's doing. You're always first to build off of that. Every time I talk to you, it's like, I'll be like, hey, we're doing this. We got this going. So-and-so's coming on the show, or I'm meeting so-and-so. And you're like, hey, have you met this person? I got to make an introduction. You're always introducing. You're always giving. Where does that come from?
I think it's innate in who I've been my whole life. I'm so fortunate and blessed, and everybody's journey is a little different. But I'm here for a purpose. And I think that I just want to be around people that I could pour into because I know they'll pour back into me. And that generosity is contagious, right? And I've always built my brand, my network, instilled that in my kids. I think if we can help people, you're always going to be better off. I think karma is a real thing, right? And when people show you who they are, believe them, right? So if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If I think that a relationship that I've built can add value to you, your circumstance, your living situation, your business, whatever the case may be, I'm going to connect those 2 people. I think that confluence is where magic happens. There's nothing better than when I walk into a room and I see people that I connected 5, 6, 7 years breaking bread or collaborating or doing something in business together. And that I just think we're all better when we're thinking optimistically of how we can enrich people's lives, whether it's through network, expertise, relationship, whatever the case may be. So that's just how I operate. And I think I've been like that for a really, really long time. Yeah.
Well, it's such a fantastic quality. But by the way, that was a hot take right there. When people show you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, who was it? The coach of the New York Giants, Bill Parcells, said, you are what your record says you are.
Absolutely.
Right? So there's a lot of similarities in that hot take. In that people will show you their true colors. You 100%. Just got to listen and watch.
100%. Yeah. And I'm in the world of building relationship to then serve, right? Like I'm in a service business. The only way that I get opportunities to add value to my bottom line, my family, earn a living is by relationships. 100% of the opportunities I get with business owners is because somebody has introduced me in. Or I've navigated how to be in front of that person in a setting that was natural, right? Don't cold call. I never will. I don't think that it's of value because I can't ask you for a meeting until I've given you something of value, right?
Yeah.
Whether that's a relationship or invited you to an event where you gathered something from it. So I don't cold call. And some salespeople might think that's crazy. But
the sales world, like sales managers have to just melt it. They're like, hey, this JMO show, you got to check it out. They talk a lot about sales stuff. And like the two guys, this Richie guy, he sells everything. And JMO, he used to sell. All right, about 10 minutes in, just shut it off. Don't listen to that and then pick it back up at a 20-minute mark.
Absolutely. But I think that has come over time. I used to make cold calls when I was a young salesperson, but that's so that I can get comfortable with a talk track or what am I trying to get people to buy into, right? Service business, I'm selling a service, right? It's about trust, relationship.
It's also a bit of a commodity in that, or a lot of a commodity.
You can get it anywhere.
You can get it
There's
anywhere.
brokers all over the place. Why am I different?
They got to buy you.
You know why I'm different? because JMO, who's invested time, energy, and effort in you, has poured into your well, you trust him, you're going to take the meeting with Richie because JMO said you should.
Yeah. And you should.
That's real influence, right? Like that's real influence. And then you've done the hard part, which is get me the opportunity to have a conversation where I'm sitting across the table from someone that makes decisions on behalf of their company. And then I pour into that and say,
But
okay,
now you're accountable.
How can I help? 100%.
You're accountable because our love for each other
I won't
says
let
that
you down.
you can't let me down.
100%.
And there's
100%.
nothing that you could say about your business that sounds as good as me saying it about you.
100%.
Like when you got people who go to bat for you.
And sometimes I'm so glad JMO made this introduction. I've really enjoyed getting to know you. The timing's just not right, and that's okay. But when you have questions around this, which I know better than most, I would love to be a resource to you.
Yeah. There's something really powerful about that stature, that stance, that I don't need you. I want you.
Yeah.
I don't need you, but I want you when it's right.
100%. 100%. And I'll even say something. Now you want to talk about sales and the art, and I might say something along the lines of, let's say it's Deborah. Deborah, this has been fantastic. I know the timing is not right. You don't even need to tell me that. But is it no for now or is it no forever? Can I reach back out and add value down the road? Can I be a resource to you when you need it? I would love to be that if you're okay with that. And Deborah's going to be like, he hasn't sold me anything. He's very approachable. Like he's been honest, and that's the relationship. And my best clients, dude, I've worked with in capacities that have nothing to do with my business, but I might have found them a management role person that they were looking for, or they hate their banker, but they don't want to go through the energy of finding the right banker. I'm like, here's 2 or 3 guys that I trust, 2 or 3 gals that I trust. Have those conversations. I just saved you a lot of time, energy, and effort going through 15
shopping.
calls, 100%. And allow me to add value to your business, even in the areas that are not my area of expertise, because I've vetted my relationships. These are people I trust that you should have dialogues with. That's how I've built my business, man.
Yeah.
It's
So
been fun.
you said it, not me.
Yeah.
That you've built your business on building those relationships, but you said something that's very important, that it's innate. You've been like that since childhood. You've been a giver. Yeah. You seem to me to be the party planner. You were the guy in high school going, hey, we're going to the tower. Get some Keystones, right? You're that guy, right? Get some Keystone Lights.
I never even had a beer in my life, but
but you have the beer. I'm not going to, but I'll be at the tower.
I like bringing people together for sure, 100%. I'm that guy. I've put together... I just put together a trip for my buddy. He knows I'm a big golfer and have a lot of relationships. He's like, hey, my father-in-law is having his 70th birthday. We want to go somewhere in North or South Carolina. Can you help me plan that trip? I plan the entire trip. I'm not even going on it. But
what's in it for you?
The goodwill that they're going to have a great time. And whenever anybody asks them about that golf trip, they're going to be like, Richie planned it. And it was the best time we've ever had. And guess who's going to love it the most? His 70-year-old father-in-law who deserves a fun trip, right? Yeah, that's kind of...
So you're just racking up these coins, man. The good Lord upstairs is just watching you rack up the
goodwill,
coins.
Goodwill.
That's it.
And there's something to be said. I said this to Brian when I was with B, taking a tour of Bernie's book bank. He's like, man, you got your hands in a lot of charitable stuff. You're pretty generous with your time. And I'm like, it's selfish. It's selfish because all those activities make me feel good. They give me energy. They pour back into me, right?
So you're filling your own tank.
Dude, I'm filling my cup while helping others. And that's where that's the magic for me.
You know what's interesting is like, not to get into this too much, but there's a lot of conversation to talk about religion. And I think religion is a problem. Religion is a business. And I think what you're doing is you're a follower of the actions that the man upstairs told us that we should take. That's pretty powerful.
Not to stay on the topic of religion.
Well, feel free to. But
I grew up Catholic, Puerto Rican household, grew up Catholic.
Shocking.
Yeah.
I'm Irish. Yeah. Shocking I'd be Catholic.
And my daughters are 5th generation of a Lutheran church, which is now where we're members of.
Okay.
It's an ELCA Lutheran church. And the mission of our church, our pastor has been there for a long time, is love God and love your neighbor. And your actions should demonstrate the love of God that he has for you.
Yeah.
And I kind of live that
just
life.
Live
so
it
was
out.
Really easy for me to buy into that. And I believe that. I teach my kids that. You know, I have 10 and 8-year-old daughters. I was talking about this today at lunch as well. And my gift and my responsibility to them is to make sure that by the time that they're 18, 20, when they're out of our house, that we've done our job so that they can interact with the world in a way that's positive and have an impact. And 2 principles that I talk to my kids about all the time is, you know, do the right thing even when no one's looking. Because if you do the right thing when no one's listening, you don't have to worry about anything else. It's always going to be the right thing. And then the second thing that I always tell my kids is the way you do anything is the way you do everything.
Oh, gosh.
Right? Like if I tell you to throw the trash out, do it the right way. Don't leave it outside the door. Throw it in the trash.
Hold on.
It's a simple task, but
Bill
do it the
Morris
right way.
Sr. is sitting across from me right now. I think my dad just channeled you.
But those 2 things are things that I firmly believe in.
Oh, God. If he said to me, look, if you don't tie the garbage bag right, that's just open you up to do a whole bunch of other things wrong.
100%, 100%. And I feel like those simple principles, that's who I am, man, at the core. And I don't purport to be anybody else. The other thing is I carry myself with a lot of respect in the marketplace. You will not find somebody say something bad about Richie in the market.
I haven't found that yet.
Anywhere. Because if it's someone I don't agree with, I just remove myself from those situations and don't spend time with them. If it's a nasty disagreement, right? But if it's something where like we can have a discussion about it, very respectful. I'm above board on most things. But I take pride in making sure that I'm always, you know, doing the right thing on behalf of people because it matters. Also, I see on your thing, Buku branded. I brought up actually at my lunch with D. Crum from AbbVie. I brought up Floriani. And AbbVie does a lot of work with Bernie's Book Bank. So they're right there in their backyard.
Like Buku branded is the thing. I mean, there's 17,000 promotional product distributors in the United States. Like you could buy your promotional products from anywhere. And by the way, they all use the same manufacturers. I was in the space.
100%.
So they all use the same manufacturers. We all go to the big ones, you know, the Sanmars, you want Nike and so on. So whether it's a hard good or apparel, they're all going to the same place. But there's only one that gives away 100% of their net profit. Like think about that first. Who does that, right? 100% of their net profit is given back to 4 literacy beneficiaries. Bernie's Book Bank, Little Free Library, Reading Partners, and Read Alliance. So they have committed that every quarter they're cutting a check on their net profit to those 4 literacy beneficiaries.
That's awesome. Do they do it in equal amounts? Do they say, hey, our net profits are X, we're going to cut a check for all 4?
They have committed to a number.
Okay.
And if it exceeds that number, they'll exceed the number, but minimum of. So,
love it.
Like if they have a bad quarter and they got to go in the hoppers, like they'll go in the hoppers. Like they'll figure they've committed to a number. By the way, they're like having record sales right now. So
love it.
So like if you're looking to buy promotional products, there's only one company that's going to give away 100% of their net profit. But you got to realize they're going to source it from the same places that all the other folks are. They're going to get it decorated. It's going to be perfect. It's going to be great. And they're going to stand over it because there's more purpose behind it than just making a transaction.
Absolutely. And they're good humans over there.
They are good humans.
Ryan's a good dude.
Okay, so I'm going to swing you back.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, because you said it's innate. And that's how you built your sales career. That's how you built your career as a partner and now a founder, right?
Yeah.
But you also lead people. You lead salespeople.
Yeah.
How do you download that process into somebody who doesn't have that innately?
Yeah.
Because for you, it's natural. It's not natural for everybody else. A lot of people are transactional and they're on the hunt.
Yeah.
You're farming.
Yeah.
You're farming, but you're hunting, but it feels like you're farming.
That's a fantastic question. I do it in both parenting with my kids, and then I do it with other young professionals that I mentor. I am willing to do the work that I'm telling them they should be doing, and I demonstrate it through my actions. And then I get to know them, and I get to understand how they operate, right? And that takes time, and you have to invest in that. I delivered the message in a way that I think that I've observed that they will take it in or learn it. And I'll share this with my kids. My 10 and 8-year-old daughter, it's crazy. They're raised in the same fucking house, and they're entirely different people. And they
sounds right.
My oldest daughter will say things like, "Oh, you love Addie more," who's my youngest daughter. And I jump down her throat right away and I say, "No, that's not true. I just will never treat you all the same." And the reason why I won't treat you the same is because you're different people, right? there's going to be times where Addie needs me to show up in one way and you're going to need me to show up in a different way. I will always love you guys equally, but I will definitely
But
treat
I'll
you
manage
differently.
you differently.
I will treat you differently. From now until the day that I'm no longer on this earth, you will always be treated slightly different. It's because you need different things from me as your old man. And I communicate that to them so that they understand it, right? I don't want her going out and creating her own summation of what she thinks her dad is, right?
Absolutely.
But I think that that's the same in the workforce. Employees are going to need you to show up in different ways for them. And I think that's the true testament of a good leader is I can't lead every single, team member in the same manner because they need different things from me.
One system,
Yeah.
but you got to manage each person different within the system.
100%. People are going to learn differently too. So how do we engage them in a way that they can absorb what you're trying to give them? And that's,
So a lot of the
takes
things
time.
that you're talking about can't be taught in a training class. No. They probably can't be taught on a training run.
Yeah.
You go out and you run leads with somebody, right? These things are real in-depth, I care about you conversations. Probably some tough love conversations.
100%.
Like, how do you approach that?
I've earned the right to be hard on you because I've invested in you. Whether it's my kids, my family, anybody that I hold to a different standard, I've invested and earned the right to treat them in that way.
Yeah.
I got a funny story for you. So grade school, take you back to grade school, Richie. I was a knucklehead. My dad wasn't really around in my childhood, so I was always looking for attention. And I always gravitated to being a knucklehead, seeking attention from like men teachers and men role models. And Mr. Navarro, rest in peace, he's no longer with us, but he was my social studies teacher in 6th grade.
God, you remember your teachers' names.
Yeah. He was transformational in my life, so he meant something to me. So Mr. Navarro, during class, he always held me to a different standard. He knew I was capable. He knew I was a good kid, smart kid. So one time I was being a class clown. I was really good at that. I was always making people laugh, yada, yada, yada. And one time he called me out on it, and I was embarrassed by him calling me out on it. So I acted tough and yelled back at him. And this is what I mean by I say he earned the right. I knew he cared about me. He said, Richie, you think you're fucking tough? This is how he spoke to me as a 6th grader. He's like, if you're so tough, let's go outside and we can fight right now. Called me out on my bullshit, right? And I just froze up, right? And then after class, he knew he embarrassed me. He pulled me to the side. He said, you're not fucking tough. These kids don't care about you. You're not a funny guy. You're in this classroom to learn. And he's my guy. From that point on, he just called me on it.
Crazy we
kept me
remember the
straight,
ones who were hard on us.
and he was my guy. He could do no wrong in my book.
Yeah.
But I respected him because he called me out and he said, hey, I'm only telling you that because I care about you. I know you have potential.
So Richie, here's
So that
one
was
thing.
a super deep story, but
No,
that's
it's a
my
beautiful
guy.
story,
Yeah.
and it's one of the things that I love about you is that you're on top, right?
Yeah.
You're on top. You're a member at multiple golf courses. You're a partner in a company. You own your own company. Your wife is a lovely lady. She's an
Boss.
attorney. She's
Kick-ass.
just a kick-ass lady. You got 2 beautiful children who are so invested in what's going on with the side project that they help design the logo for Pichon Golf. Like they're helping design some of the apparel. It's just you got a beautiful thing happening. But you weren't always like that. You didn't come out the womb with a silver spoon in your mouth. You had a fairly difficult upbringing.
Yeah.
And you probably needed some of that tough love from the community that you were in and the people,
100%.
the surroundings, all the different ways that you could have fallen out of line and gotten pulled into the wrong circles.
Yep.
That teacher saw something in you. So if you don't mind, just kind of take us back to this is just so you guys know that Richie's doing really, really well in life, but it wasn't handed to him. This is somebody who overcame really early on adversity.
Yeah, I think adversity is good for people in general. I think I try to actually create roadblocks for my kids to create adversity so that they can learn how to have a little bit of grit, problem solve. But yeah, I grew up in Humboldt Park and born in '85. I grew up in a tough community. And whether it was gangs, violence, drugs, it was all around me. But I was fortunate. I had 2 older brothers who had made some missteps. They were 9 and 8 years older than me. And thank God they're still around and, thriving in their own lives right now. But they were involved in stuff that I saw as a problem. But they always encouraged me to do sports. So sports were always my outlet. I always had that to gravitate towards. And that kept me out of trouble, one, but it also instilled tremendous amount of discipline. I wanted to be good. I had my older brothers were both athletes as well, and I always played with them. So I was, mind you, 8, 9 years old playing with 17, 18-year-old boys, whether it was
you get good real quick.
pick up hoops or fast pitch at the park or tackle football. They one time put the football in my shirt. I'm running with the football. I get tackled, lose my air. I thought I was going to die. But I was always playing with them, and that community protected me. They knew that I was a good athlete from an early age, and they kept me. I never saw drugs. I never touched drugs, money, gangs, anything like that, guns, anything. They always kept me on the up and up. And that path led me to, be a pretty good athlete all the way through high school. And then ultimately led me going to University of Wisconsin on a scholarship. So I had an academic scholarship through an organization called the Posse Foundation. And that was where my eyes opened up.
Yeah.
I always say that it's really difficult for you to see what's possible when you never see it, right? So when I got to the University of Wisconsin, I started becoming friends and mingling with people that come from areas that are different than the 4-mile radius around Humboldt Park. And I knew that there was more out there. And I always had a desire to have success. And I'm going to backstep to my 10-year-old age. My dad was a drug abuser. So my dad contracted AIDS through heroin use when I was 3.5 years old. And went to jail, and then they let him out of jail on a drug treatment program, and him and my mom were no longer together. But my dad was struggling with AIDS, and it's different now where there's more drug treatment, or there's more treatment for it, and you can stay alive a little bit longer. Yeah, it was in the 90s. My dad passed away when I was in 95 when I was 10 years old. So he had begged my mother for about 3-4 years, and my mom was a single mom of 4 kids living in Humboldt Park. And I don't know if it was a calling from God or what, or maybe she was just overwhelmed with 4 little kids, She allowed me to go live with my dad in a small town outside of Boston called Peabody, Massachusetts. So I lived with my dad for almost 11 months before he passed away. And in 11 months, he poured into me. He let me know why he was dying. He treated me like I was an adult at the age of 10. So I was fairly mature after that, 11-month boot camp of living with my old man before he passed away. And unfortunately, he passed away when I was at school, and I didn't really get to say goodbye to him. But all his lessons in that 11 months.
And he packed them all into that 11 months.
He was talking to me like I was a grown-ass man. He would say, son, I'm going to die because of the decisions that I made around drugs.
Yeah.
You're a sharp young man. You're a talented athlete. Like, you have this world out there. Just make good decisions. And if you fuck up, make sure it's a one-time fuck up. Learn from your mistakes and make sure that you're living.
Even better, learn from the mistakes of other people.
So people ask me all the time, like, what do you attribute, like, your straight and narrow attitude? I was like, dude, I got an MBA in how not to fuck up.
Yeah.
Over an 11-month period with my old man. And that was just transformational. I say that was the biggest point of praxis in my life. I knew from that point on that I did not want to be a failure, that I wanted better. I knew that better meant following sports, getting an education, and doing things on a different playing field. So I never drank an alcoholic beverage at the University of Wisconsin until I was 21 years old, which is my senior year of college.
Wow.
And I never, if I was hanging out with friends, I never stayed at anybody's apartment. I always went back to my place.
The discipline to get up the next morning and get back to it.
I always wanted to, that was more so me just wanting to control my settings.
Got it.
I didn't want to be the kid that was stuck somewhere and get blamed for something that went sour.
Don't be a witness.
I wasn't a perfect kid, but I knew, my mom always says nothing good happens after midnight. And she was right. Like, I didn't want to be caught outside without my ability to be conscious of what's going on after midnight. So that was my upbringing. And I always wanted to be in control of anything, which is why when I played sports, I was a quarterback and a free safety in high school. Basketball, I was a point guard, shooting guard, guarding the best player. Baseball, I pitched and played center field. Like, I always played positions where
saw the whole field,
100%,
or in control.
And if we lost, I didn't care who made a mistake. It was because I didn't do enough to win the game.
Yeah.
I always held myself to that standard.
All right, so I'm going to tell you, Richie was on the Golf with JMO show. We're on a par 5. I chipped up. We decided to take my chip, so one of the camera guys was like throwing the ball to Richie. And it's on, so I hope that they'll throw this up as B-roll on this because there's a part where the ball short hops him. And he just he just gets it on the short hop, and I'm like, please tell me you got that on camera. Those were the hands of a shortstop, not a center fielder.
Yeah, I played every position in the baseball field.
Yeah.
When I was in a little later in life, they would ask me whenever I would play on like men's leagues team. They're like, "What position do you play?" And I would always just say, "I play baseball." Mm-hmm. Put me anywhere. I'll figure it out.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just not catcher.
Just being
in
an athlete.
softball. Don't put me at catcher.
Not in
softball,
softball, but on baseball, on the diamond, I caught.
On the diamond, catcher's awesome.
I love it. It was the best. And I had a little bit of ADD, so catching was good for me.
Which sport did you like the most?
I loved football the most, but I was best at baseball.
Okay.
And then as I got older, it's funny how that works, but as I got older, I enjoyed basketball the most. Because I feel like basketball, with limited athletic ability, with limited, I was aging, right? I became better at basketball because I was smarter.
You were working the flow, moving without the
IQ
ball.
mattered more. You could have a greater impact. I mean, look at LeBron right now in the NBA.
Yeah.
Dude's 41 years old. Do you think he has the athleticism he once had? I mean, he's still athletic, but he's nowhere near the athlete he was on those Miami Heat days. But he still understands the game and controls the game.
He's playing the dance, right? He knows where to be.
And that's why I loved basketball. But to answer your question, football by far, I loved hitting people. I loved, the excitement of 11 guys all pulling in the same direction where you need to be in concert to make sure that the play works the way it's supposed to work. Yeah, I loved football.
So you like free safety better than quarterback?
I loved them both.
You loved
and
them
I
both.
started both ways. So as a sophomore in high school, I played varsity all three sports, baseball, basketball, and football. And I played both ways on the football team.
Why didn't you go play in college? I mean, you had the talent to do that.
I had offers to play all three sports, frankly. And funny, I was talking to the guy who lives in Sun Prairie, and there's Carthage College is not too far away. Carthage College recruited me, and they wanted me to come there and play all three sports. They were the only school that was going to let me play all three sports. But I had a posse scholarship to go to Wisconsin, and Wisconsin's a great school.
100%.
Posse's a great organization.
Did you play club there?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. So funny story is when I went to Madison, I thought I was just going to walk on the baseball team. In 1990, they dropped their baseball program because of Title IX. So they're the only Division I Big Ten school without a Division I baseball team.
They still don't have it?
They will never have one. Yeah. Barry Alvarez, Title IX, you have to allot the same amount of resources to men and women's
sports. And nobody's
sports.
coming to a baseball game.
No one's coming to a baseball game, so it'd be very difficult for them to
Not the
represent.
March baseball game.
We're already struggling on the athletic fields.
Exactly.
Wisconsin Badgers basketball, baseball, football.
There was
football
a heyday for football.
Yeah.
The Ron Dane. There was a heyday for football there.
College landscape has changed.
It's changed.
And until
it's
Wisconsin,
the NIL money.
Well, until Wisconsin's willing to pony up dollars, they're not going to have the cream of the crop to compete.
All I know is Illinois is starting to pass Wisconsin, and I didn't think I'd ever see that happen.
That ship has sailed. Wisconsin is below Illinois on the sports totem pole. Unfortunately, it pains me to say that.
I'm certain. Yeah. Remember, how about the UW? Is it UW?
UW Madison.
UW.
Yeah.
How about their basketball journey, man? They had some Final Four teams. They had some teams just jacking 3-pointers a decade ago.
Yeah, so I was on those practice teams. So when I was at Madison, I became friends with a couple of the players on the basketball team because they lived on my floor freshman year. And then my sophomore year, I helped out with the practice team. So I would run scout offense for the Badgers. And at that time, Greg Gard was the assistant coach. So he would run the scout team, which is who so I have a good relationship with a lot of the guys that are still coaching on that staff today. And it pains me. They should have made a deeper run. They had really good guard play this year, and they just fizzled out. I could blame it on a couple of possessions late in the game where our point guard, this is going to sound terrible, but our point guard could have made better decisions with the basketball. That was late in that game against I think it's High Point. Yeah, High Point.
Well,
don't transfer, Boyd. Stay put, but because we're already losing Blackwell, who's probably going to go to U of I now that you say it.
I mean, that's the other thing too, right? It's really hard to build a team. Like they're just going to go where the money is now. 100%. It's like it's free agency every year now.
And I love it for the student athletes because not every one of those student athletes
their brand.
is going to go play professional sports. But it's made it more difficult to coach these kids these days.
And install a program.
Correct. And you've seen it with some of the marquee historical coaches that have walked away from coaching at the collegiate level because of NIL. But I will never backtrack. I always think that if we can put some parameters around it, and the University of Wisconsin actually put an article out in our alumni paper a couple years back kind of trying to put some parameters around NIL. And I do think that they had a good idea, but I don't feel sorry for these universities that have hundreds of millions of dollars in these endowments, and they've been making these amounts of money for years at the expense of college athletes who not all will graduate, and some will leave with like debilitating injuries and debilitating health conditions because of the sports that they played. So I don't feel sorry for the universities or these coaches that are bitching about NIL.
Let's get a little bit polarizing here. What are your thoughts on college?
I just had this conversation with a buddy the other day.
It's different than 30 years ago. 30 years ago, if you didn't have a diploma, you were going to be a nobody. Yeah. Everyone told you that. I'm not so sure that's the case now. You could literally go on YouTube, and if you had the discipline, you could get a curriculum off of YouTube. Yeah. There's just a lot of different angles, but obviously you're not going to get the same experience. Obviously there's professors at the university that are extremely intelligent. Yeah. Unfortunately, universities have become very political. Yeah. They're very secular. So like you don't know what's going to happen when you send your kid off, if they're going to come back a different human being other than, like maturing. They might come back with very different views. There's a lot. What say you about the college experience?
I would talk about the academic side of it. I think that there is a lot, if you're going to professional school, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be an accountant, there is a lot of training that is required in order for you to excel at that, right? So I think that there's a place for university. It's just so fucking expensive. I mean, it's debilitating to folks financially. $50,000 a year? Yeah. And what you're seeing is that there's a widening of the gap where, if I didn't have a scholarship, it would have been very difficult for me to afford college. In fact, sports were my outlet to try to get to college on a scholarship, right? Yeah. And I think that that's a big problem is the financial burden that college becomes. And if you are one that doesn't necessarily know what you want to do, some might say you're throwing money away trying to go to a university and go down that path. But if you know what you want to do and it's a professional journey where you need the education and the professors to teach you how to practice medicine and things like that, I think there's a need for it. We just got to find a place. I mean, I think the trades are great. If you know you want to be a tradesman, there's a need for it now more than ever.
Electricians are going to make so much money with all these
100%.
All these data centers that need to be built.
If I were coaching and my kids and my daughters are 10 and 8, so I'll be having this discussion over the next 6 to 8 years with my oldest. If they don't have an idea as to what they want to do, I will encourage them to maybe go, the junior college route until they figure out what they want to do to save money. I'm hopeful that we'll be in a position to finance our kids' college. Because coming out of college with $200,000 in debt is debilitating to a lot of people. So, I mean, everybody's situation is a little different, but there's a place for college and universities. I wish we could find a way to make it more accessible financially.
Does it need to be regulated at some point? Like I'm a less government guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it seems like
I live in the state of Illinois. I don't want the state of Illinois running anything of mine.
Amen.
I mean, when you look at some of the missteps, I think it's a conversation that needs to be had. Is it the right thing for your kid? Because I don't think university or college is the right thing for every single kid.
And it's, by the way, it's a really, if you're sending your kid there for 2 years to figure out who they are until they figure out who they are so they can have a fantastic social experiment. Yeah. I don't know if that's the right call because that's a very expensive experiment, and you're sending them there for 2 years
100%
to hopefully figure out what they want to be.
100%. Yeah. I believe that it is. I mean, every family needs to have that discussion and make sure that they're making the right decision. But to be frank with you, I don't know if every kid has a mentor or every kid has someone in their ear helping them navigate that. I didn't. Yeah. When I went to the University of Wisconsin, I struggled early on in college, and it's because I didn't know any better. I didn't know how to study. I didn't know, and I was a pretty good student, but I did understand that aspect of college and that life. But
I also didn't realize how ill-prepared I was to be on my own. Yeah. Like no discipline. Yeah. Like when you grow up in a household where mom's like, did you do your homework? Did you do your homework? Did you do your homework? That doesn't happen on a Wednesday night when you're in college. Yeah. Like you could just hit voicemail. You're not getting that phone call.
Absolutely right. When I was in college, I lacked sometimes, like I had discipline and I wanted to do well. I didn't know how. I wasn't equipped with the frame of reference on how to study, or I wasn't equipped with the roadmap, right?
Yeah.
Like this is how you should be doing it. So I learned the hard way, but I figured it out. I'm gritty enough to figure it out.
Yeah.
I was going to lose my scholarship if I didn't. But yeah, it's college is not the easiest transition for someone that grew up like I did.
Yeah.
I needed more, and Posse provided that for me. I needed more guidelines. I needed more support, and I got it through the Posse Foundation, but it was tough. The first, year of college was a challenge for me.
So 360 Benefits have a pretty cool space.
Yeah, we have a nice little office space.
Okay.
We're actually probably going to be looking at a new lease here at some point soon. So, but yeah, we have a good space. We also have a pretty flexible work environment. So we don't have any specific requirements around being in the office. We don't have. We're a cool place to work. We pay 100% of our employees benefits. We have free unlimited PTO. We treat our team members like adults, and therefore they care about their role at the firm and making sure we're supporting our clients. So it's pretty cool. And we have an open office space setting.
I love that. Yeah.
It's
So this episode is sponsored by RECLAIM Interiors. We're here in their facility. You had a chance to walk in.
Yeah.
Like they've got some
have
unbelievable interiors, right?
Beautiful space. When I walked in, I was like, man, this office bathroom is nicer than my home bathroom.
I'm telling you, the office that we're in, the studio, is inside of the RECLAIM Interiors office. So what a luxury, because literally the bathroom in the studio here is nicer than my master bathroom. It has a shower in it.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely beautiful. But if you're looking for amazing interiors, and I was telling Richie this, it's not just about like, hey, we're just going to place you with product that's in our inventory. Yeah. Like they'll custom build it, and they've got designers that will come out to your facility and essentially say, hey, what are you looking for? Are you trying to increase productivity? Are you trying to boost morale? Are you trying to get your hybrid team to maybe come back to the office and you need to give them something beautiful? Yeah. So they'll get your mind, or they'll get your mindset on where you want your culture to look and how you want your business to operate, and then they'll kind of customize what they do for you in that regard. So RECLAIM Interiors, if you're moving into a new facility or you want to upgrade or whatever, it's www.rieke.com. That's RECLAIMinteriors.com.
And that matters. We have some clients that are having their employees come back a couple more times a week, and if you have a space that you feel comfortable and enjoy being in, you're going to be okay with coming back more often.
100%. Like if you're trying to get your people to come back into the office,
100%.
Give them something beautiful to come back into. So they think that way. So just to transition a little bit to Pichon.
Yeah.
All right. So when did you take up golf? You started late. You're an athlete. But golf, even though you're an athlete, golf is not like the easiest transition for a lot of people. You see people like that are NBA champions or Super Bowl winners or played shortstop for a baseball team, and then you put a little white ball on a tee that's sitting still, and it brings them to their knees. So talk a little bit about your golf journey.
Yeah, my golf journey, I grabbed the club for the first time 11 years ago, introduced to the game by my father-in-law, and he's a member at Geneva National, and that's where we're now all members at. And it was a great experience, but I'm hyper competitive. I wasn't very good early on. But
that probably pissed you off, huh?
Yeah, but it was I'm going to conquer anything that I want to conquer. And the beautiful thing about golf is that I'll never conquer it because it'll always be opportunity to improve. So it just keeps me grinding. I grinded this morning. I have a nice morning routine. I was out chipping and putting at 5 a.m. this morning.
Okay. Where do you go do that?
There's a nice public golf course near my house.
Okay.
It's called Heritage Oaks, and they have practice facilities. So my routine, literally every day, Monday through Friday, in the summer when I can get away with it, is I go to the gym, usually around 4:30. I'll work out. My wife laughs at me because I have a massage chair at my gym. So I go in the massage chair for 10, 12 minutes to warm up. And then I get my stretch in, I get my workout in, and then I'll go chip and putt on their practice facility and it's literally 4 minutes from my gym, 4 minutes from my house. It's perfect. I get back home, kids get up, help in the morning with the kids. It's a refreshing morning.
Well, it's paying off. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
You always look super athletic. I'm always like, I got to keep up. So I actually went to the gym this morning. So I feel pretty good about that. I'm not so sure it worked, but I did go. I actually did some stuff.
I'm going to get back. I want to answer your question about golf, how I got into it. So that's how I got into it. And then I fell in love with it. And then I realized that golf can be a forever game that I can do for a really, really long time with people I want to spend time with, right? And my life is all about building relationships. So golf has been instrumental in me building my network, my professional, business relationships. And it's been really great for my business. So I married those two things. Yeah.
So what's amazing is how you juggle all of this.
Yeah.
Because you also run a networking of very high level executives. I've had the fortune of being kind of an alternate when you need a person to fill in. I'm very grateful for that. Yeah. Fantastic business leaders, entrepreneurs, founders, C-suite. These folks are really moving and shaking, but gosh, so genuine, all so kind. Yeah. These are people where they're at a level where a guy like me who's just starting out, they could look at like, what's this guy doing in the group? In no way, shape, or form did I feel that. You want to talk about salt of the earth people. These are the types of folks that you could be intimidated by. Playing courses like Conway Farms and some of these other courses that you're like, hey, we're going to play here.
We played
like,
Ivanhoe. I think
they're going to let me out here.
Yeah. No, they will. Where I'm welcome, you're welcome, man.
I appreciate that.
Everywhere. So yeah, you referenced a group called Provisors. So it's a national networking. There's 10,000 members across the country, and it's just executives that either own or in executive positions at firms around the country. But I'm intentional, right? So I'm only spending time with these folks at our monthly meetings, but the magic happens when you're outside of those structured meetings, right? How do you get to know, like, and trust one another a little bit better? So through Provisors, I've built a network of people, and we'll do golf outings once a month in the summer, and then we'll do poker nights once a month in the winters. And then we just find ways, whether it's charitable events, to all get together in meaningful ways.
Instead of just going to the
100%,
going to the the banquet hall and
100%.
kind of mingling.
Yeah.
You're there for an hour and a half, have a few drinks, and you're out. Yeah. And this is like
intimate.
You're competing together. You're laughing together. It's really interesting how
you're seeing who they are as people too. Do they have integrity? Are they cheating to try to win this little event we have once a month? Because guess what?
That 6-footer ain't a gimme, boss.
No. And those people, if they demonstrate that they should not be a part of that group, they don't get the invite. So I have this ability to control this setting and who I want to spend time and energy with. Yeah. And it's been fruitful and been very, very rewarding. And it's nice to kick their ass every once in a while on the golf course too.
Show me your friends, show me your future, right?
100%. Yeah. And these are all really stand out to the point you made. They're all good people, good humans.
So Eat the Frog.
Yeah, we talked about that
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Eat the Frog. So we talked about innate, right? Something about like how I'm wired is innate, but I also feed my brain. I feed my soul. I feed with things of positive energy and learning, and I'm a constant learner. So through my journey, my professional journey, I've probably read so many books that to personally develop. And Eat the Frog is a concept that I love, right? I think it's doing the hard things early in the day or first in the day. The concept of eating the frog. Nobody wants to eat a frog, but if you eat the frog early in the day, the rest of the day is
all the other food tastes way better.
All the other food is delicious. So yeah, that is something I live by. That's why I get my workout done first thing in the morning, right? It's tough. It's not easy, but choose your tough. Do you want to be fat, out of shape, lethargic, can't breathe, can't do anything,
can't sleep,
can't pick up your kids, can't engage in anything? Or do you want to do the hard of working out? Because guess what? Being out of breath and can't move and unathletic and able to do something, that's hard too. I choose the hard, which is the workout and the stuff that, I think will feed my soul for a long, long time and keep me around.
I love it. It's so
that's
good.
The concept of eat the frog is just doing the hard things early in the day. And that could be at work too. I had one today. I had a tough conversation to make with a client that it didn't go exactly how I wanted it to go. So I have to call him and put that call into him right after this show. I'm gonna do that. I just got this news on the drive here, but it is what it is. And you know what? I could stand on it, on the fact that we weren't perfect in that instance. It didn't exactly work out. It wasn't our mistake, but we're the reason.
You're still gonna own it.
We're gonna own it, and we're gonna take it off your plate. We're gonna fix it, and then this is the next step. This is what that looks like. So
back to the integrity part.
I'm going to eat that frog and have a difficult conversation and not have my team have that conversation. I'm going to take the conversation. I'm going to fall on the sword because that's the right thing to do as a leader.
So you are involved in things outside of Pichon. You're using Pichon, however, as a vehicle to do good works. You're going to a lot of events. You're setting up on a hole. You're doing the beat the pro type stuff, right? But you're contributing to a lot of events that are giving back. There's an upcoming event.
Yes, there is.
Let's talk about this upcoming event and why it matters to you so much, because you reached out to me and immediately if you're in, I'm in.
I love it.
So I'm in. We're gonna sponsor a whole Zach. We're gonna be out there June 4th. So talk a little bit about this event and why. What I really want to know is, why does it matter to you so much? This one in particular.
Yeah, this event matters to me. So I got invited to the organization is RECLAIM13. I've got a good buddy who's actually a Provisors member of mine as well. We've become really, really good friends. His name Mike Pasakovich. He owns a company called Everactive Solutions. And he has been involved with RECLAIM13 for the last 6 years. He's been helping them with their golf outing. And RECLAIM13 was founded by a woman named Cassandra Ma. She's the executive director over there. But they're doing life-changing work at the end of the day. RECLAIM13 is a safe house in Illinois. They protect young, battered, and trafficked women and give them another life, and give them another shot at life. And that's through housing and wraparound services. So they literally take these young women, gals, and give them a fighting chance in a world where they're being abused, trafficked, and have very little control of their day-to-day being. They take them off the streets, they give them a place to stay, they feed them, they house them, and then they give them wraparound services to help them re-engage in society. If that ain't changing lives, I don't know what is, right? So it's heavy.
Changes generations of 100%. Lives.
I have a wife and 2 daughters, and that matters. And we support them with our time, energy, and treasure. And I think that our dollars are making a difference. If we could save one kid, it matters, right? So that's what we do. Our golf outing is June 4th. We've moved it to Twin Orchard, which is a fantastic facility we've been to before.
You got it, the event and the meaning behind the event and all of that. But like beyond that, if you're a golfer and you haven't played Twin Orchards, you just now have another reason. If 100%. You needed another reason other than helping battered women and children, if you needed another reason, here's a reason.
So Twin Orchards is a fantastic facility. They've been amazing to work with. And we are taking the outing there, and I'm a big believer. I'm a BHAG kind of guy, right? Big, hairy, audacious goals. I've been working on the committee alongside Mike and Mark Jerry, their CFO, and he's like, well, what do you anticipate? And I was like, Mark, I don't believe in small dreams. I believe in doing things big, and there's enough people out there that care enough about humanity that will support this. So our goal is to raise $100,000. And it's going to cost us about $50,000 to put the event on. So everything to take. So, if we can get to $100,000 through sponsorships, foursomes, yada yada, I think it'd be a successful event. Reclaim only wants to get to, they're like, as long as we can pay for the event, we think it's a success. And I don't believe in that.
No,
I'm like, no, we're gonna fucking blow this thing out of the water.
Yeah.
We're going to help more kids than we've ever helped before through this event.
And then we'll do it again next year.
And we'll do it again next year. And we'll continue to do it. And Twin Orchard, the reason why I specifically moved it there is because I have a vision of renting out the entire facility. They have 2 18-hole courses. Let's change lives.
Let's fill them both up.
Let's change lives through golf, through community, through fellowship. And we're going to do that. It's going to be awesome.
So if you're in the greater Chicagoland area, shoot. If you're in Indiana, right, drive up. If you're in Wisconsin, drive down. If you're in North Carolina, fly up. I don't care where you are. Come on in. We're going to put all the information in the description of the podcast. Plus, we're going to put some stuff right above my finger. There should be something right here where you could potentially sign up. So we'll
beautiful
make it
thing
easy.
About the outing is we've gotten to work. I've sent out a bunch of personal emails, personal notes. I believe in asking someone genuinely. I want you to support in whatever fashion you think makes sense for you, your family, and your budget. But there's tremendous opportunities. We're grateful. We are almost full on the foursomes, and we have whole sponsorships available, and then we have 3 marquee sponsors available where you could sponsor, I think it's $7,500, and that gives you access to putting a nice tee gift, which we will purchase and put your logo on.
By the way, if somebody sponsors, they get a guest spot on the podcast.
Love it.
So you will, if you sponsor,
that's awesome.
The 7,500 one, you're coming on the show. We're gonna do a whole feature on you and your organization. You will come on this show, and we will make you a sponsor on other episodes as well. And I will rip out so much content about your brand if you sponsor this event. I will make it worth your while. It's already worth your while, but I'm just gonna sweeten the pot a little bit.
Thank you for the extra candy. I appreciate that. So there's 3 spots there, and then. Reclaim was able to secure our platinum sponsor, which is a $25,000 level. We only get one of those. And then we have another sponsorship level, which is in partnership with Pichon. It's at 12,500, so 12,500, and gets you a garment with your logo on it that every single person in the golf outing will get.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we'll brand it to your company. So it's pretty cool.
It's so great. Yeah. So these types of things.
And there's only one of those, obviously.
You're a reciprocity guy. And the reason that you can ask the way that you can ask is because you give.
Yeah.
And so you're this reciprocity, like, hey, I'm going to give you 3, but I'm going to ask you for this one thing. It's not, hey, I'm going to ask you for the one thing, and then maybe I'll come back and get you a later date. It's like, I'm going to give you 3, and then I'm going to ask you for this little one thing. And so, I don't want to make light of that, because it's a pretty big deal that you've carried your life that way, and it's paid off. Like, what a great lesson for anyone who's listening to this. Maybe a young executive or a young salesperson who's trying to move up, or somebody who's a new entrepreneur and is trying to get their business to the next level, and is like, well, if I give, then I'm not going to make any money. Well, no, if you give, you're going to make way more money.
I think it's, I don't keep score. You know what I mean? Like,
you shouldn't do that in marriage either. By the way.
And when fair. Well, if you do keep score, make sure you're always losing.
If you want to stay married.
I think there's so many amazing people in this world, and many of them operate in this manner. It's just finding them and surrounding yourself around them, and spending more time with them. Yeah, man, that's what it's about. And sometimes people are, maybe the timing isn't right. Maybe they're in a place where they've got a lot going on, and the timing for you to make that connection just isn't right. I got a perfect example. I just met a guy who I was introduced to 9 years ago, a guy by the name of Peter Billmeyer. He's a stud, absolute stud. Him and his business partner have been around doing really, really good work. And, we got reintroduced, and he apologized. And I said, what are you apologizing for? You were out chasing the dream too.
Yeah.
Like, the timing wasn't right, but we're back together, and we're back together for a reason, because people thought of us and think highly enough of us to make an introduction for us to get back together. And we're here. Let's make worthwhile. Let's not look at the past.
Yeah. Own the present, win the future.
What are we going to do together moving forward? How are we going to help each other grow, personally, professionally, our networks, expertise, everything. Let's keep moving in the right direction. And that's the beauty of this world we live in, man. You choose.
What do people need to know about you that they don't?
I'm accessible as can be. I'm a weirdo that takes sales calls from people, and will answer.
Whoa!
Yeah.
You just opened a door up.
Yeah.
So you'll take the call.
Yeah.
Because
and I'll talk.
On the other end of that line, it might be somebody that was you 10 years ago, but on the other hand, there could be an opportunity that is collaborative.
100%. Yes and no. Or there's an opportunity for them to practice what they've been working their ass off to share with an audience. They're cold calling. Man, I'll take that call. I'll be like, I am not in the market for your services, but that was very well. Keep plugging it. You're going to be successful.
What if somebody calls you and does a bad job?
Yeah, I will either hang up immediately, depending on what I've got going on. Save them time, or I'll just hear them out and let them fight through it.
Do you ever coach them?
No, I don't ever coach them, but I'll let them fight through it. Yeah, that's interesting, but yeah, maybe there's a nugget for me to take.
I've had a few telemarketers call me. And I grew up in call centers, right?
Yeah.
And they
so
call
my
me.
business partner. Like, he's on the phone. He's great on the phone.
Dude, just marble mouths call me it's like, dude, you got to have an opening hook, man. Like, where's the hook? Come on. They're like, huh?
You do have 7 seconds, right?
I'm gonna look right now. Here we go. We're gonna practice. Here's what the practice is. I'll give them the hook.
And they probably appreciate that.
I hope so.
Yeah,
it's better, it's better than me being like, listen, this day.
But I take calls from numbers I don't recognize all the time. What I don't like is when you get a call that is automated, and then those I
can't take that.
Block.
There are some things that that AI is just absolutely phenomenal for, but I'm kind of offended by using AI to develop business and to create leads. I'm a little offended by that, to be honest with you, because it is such a personal thing. Like, you want a buyer to get vulnerable with you. I just did a clip on this. Like, if you want somebody as a salesperson to get vulnerable with you, to tell you their pain, to open up and tell you their challenges, and to tell you what their goals are, like, why don't you start by being vulnerable first?
Yeah, be a human.
So I don't understand how in the world AI is gonna do that intimate part for you.
Yeah.
You're making me a number. You're throwing me against the wall and seeing if I stick. And then you're wondering why I'm treating you like a transaction.
Yeah.
Well, you're treating me like a transaction.
Yeah. The data mining, I don't mind AI doing. Like scrubbing data.
Find who it should be.
But yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why I've never had an executive assistant or an administrative assistant. I think it's not human.
Yeah.
Right. I'm your relationship. I want to be the one that answers your phone call. I want to be the one that calls you back, schedules the time, puts the meeting on the calendar. I want all those little touch points to be me and you. That's where magic. That's the relationship that we have.
If there was a hole in your game
Yeah.
that you're working towards, or that you just recognize, or maybe it's been a thorn in your side for a while and you just haven't figured out the magic formula, what would be the hole in your game?
Hole in my game. I'm really bad at saying no.
That's got to create a time issue for you.
Yeah, it does. It creates a time issue for my wife too. Yeah, she thinks that I do a lot of like relationship building out in the market, and she would be okay with me doing a little less of that.
Oh yeah, I can imagine, but it's also, you do that and there is an immediate gratification. So a lot of the stuff that you're doing is like, hey, this might not benefit us for 3 years, but when it does, especially in the industry that you're in, it's a residual over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So
yeah, saying no to more things. But I love those things that I say yes to, right? Like usually I say yes to charity events or another round of golf or, another meeting, happy hour. That's my element, man. It's with people. And you never know when you're going to meet somebody that you jive with that is impactful in your life one way or the other, right? I mean, I love booking a tea time by myself. And
I play a lot of by myself golf.
Two
it's so peaceful.
No, I like the interaction with the two random people.
I'll go up there. It's so peaceful, but then I'll run into, seventh hole, I catch up, and then it's like twosome, like, you want to play through? And I'm like, I could join you if you want.
I love, and that has been awesome, and I'll go play in communities that are not far from my house. So now I'm finding that small tea time turned into a small incubation of friends and people I can hang out with and go play more golf with and do business with. And it's awesome.
Do you have a bunch of phone numbers in your phone that are like, you got done with you've played 13 holes with them, right?
Yeah.
And at the end, they're like, dude, that was really fun. We need a fourth for some scramble. Like, you want to play? And then you've got it in there. It's just like Richie, Highlands, played golf. Like, you don't know their last name, but you're like, I've got like 50 numbers in my phone where it's just like their first name and then where we played.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah, I am intentional, so I will make sure I get their last name.
I probably should do that.
What I've gotten good at is after the round, I will, if it's something like that, I'll text them my name and say, hey, respond with your name, your full name, so I can lock you in.
I got to lock that in.
Yeah, it's easy to do it that way. And then you can put some notes in there, But it's awesome. The random, tea time is one of my favorite things to do. Yeah.
So we're going to have a little fun now. This is Let's Go with JMO.
Let's go, baby.
All right, so this is, I'm just going to rip some questions off at you. I don't have them mapped out. Your answers are going to form whatever the next one is and the next one is. But this is where I really kind of want to get to know you even a little bit deeper, and hopefully the audience enjoys this part. Maybe a little comedy in there, and some real current events of perspective.
Is it short and curt answers, or is it
you give whatever
elaborate?
the hell answer you want,
all right,
and then I'll probably go, let's go, at the end. All right, you ready?
Love it. Yes, sir.
Oh, he's already got the gun. Were you putting me on the clock?
No, I was just telling that email to leave me alone for now. Yeah.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Do you think that we really went to the moon?
No.
Okay, please explain, because I'm so with you.
I just don't think that they could have turned around the images and the photographs of that so quick back then. Like, Technology wasn't there. Like, yeah.
Have you seen? There's a
My brother-in-law disagrees with me.
oh,
like
sorry,
100%.
bro, but like,
but he's also a sci-fi guy. I'm a realist.
Yeah, I don't think there's aliens either. They're demons. They're demons pretending to be aliens.
Yeah. So my answer to that is absolutely not. I don't think so. But yeah.
Okay, so there's a video that is out there that is like the worst sci-fi ever, and it's supposed to be the rocket floating. This is like 1969. It's supposed to be floating. Guy's got like a garden hose that's connected to him, and he's just like floating there. And this is NASA trying to get people in 1969 to believe this. Now, in 1969, they'd probably never seen anything like that. They probably thought, wow, this is like Lost in Space, Will Robinson, what's going on? But now, when you look back at it, you're like, there is no chance in 1969. We had touch-tone phones. Actually, we had the phones with the spin.
Spin dial, yeah.
The spin dial. Like, you're trying to tell me that, and then we just lost all that for years?
That's the thing that gets me is that there's no recollection.
There's no gap in between.
Yeah. No, they don't have the data to prove. Like,
where'd it go?
We lost all the tapes.
We lost it, yeah. So we were able to make it, but then we weren't responsible enough to keep it.
They were, however, it was brilliant that they did that because then the Soviets were trying to follow along and they went bankrupt and they spent a whole bunch of money trying to figure out what we didn't actually do.
So it was just a Cold War play. So we sent them down a rabbit hole and made them broke. And then tricked the whole public, and then the government probably was looking at it going, we just tricked the hell out of the public. They actually bought this. They bought this. Yeah. What else can we pull over on them?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. All right, COVID. Yeah. Did it do more bad or did it do more good? And I asked this question because did it wake us up?
Yeah, I think it's relative, right? I think that I'm going to answer this question delicately because depending on who it was, it could have a different answer.
Sure.
I mean, there was people that died.
1,000%.
Yeah. For me, it was fantastic in the fact that parenting was different than we had ever parented in our lives. When, as working professionals, both my wife and I are working professionals, did we have the ability to be at home with our children from the ages of 2 to 7?
Never,
right? So like that was really, really powerful for us to be present with our kids. And then it showed that there's a different way to be productive and the work-life balance. I think that there's some good there. I think it's really hard to develop young talent when you're not present. And I think the young talent really, really likes the autonomy of working from home in their pajamas, which is nothing wrong with that, but we need to develop them. So I think that the answer is it did a lot of good and probably a little bit of bad for some folks as well. So
clearly the bad is that lives were lost.
Correct.
Clearly the bad is that we were, isolated. It created a lot of isolation. I think
more
a lot
dependence on social media,
a lot of depression. Obviously, grandma and grandpa and aunts and uncles and moms and dads that passed away, absolutely terrible. But just like anything, we always try and find like what was kind of the good part, what was the lining in it. And I agree with you. Like it kind of woke me up a little bit to like, what are we doing? Like what really matters? Is the 9 to 5? Like, was that a 1940s thing that made sense because, the Rockefellers owned everything and they were trying to create a school system that created employees that fell in line. And now we've got all this technology, but we're still operating the same way. Like, it kind of woke you up that, wait a minute, we could do things in all different ways.
Yeah, I follow that very, very well. I do think that there's structures in place that have, been built over time and create, what they want us to believe, what they want us to learn, all that stuff. So, I love the perspective that you provide.
Broke the mold.
Yeah.
All right, so let's lighten it up a little bit.
All right.
Favorite sports moment, not you playing. But favorite sports moment, team that you appreciate, an event that you attended. Something that just absolutely blew your mind.
Hard to top the White Sox 05 championship for me.
You're a Sox fan.
I'm a big diehard White Sox fan. And that was just magical. That run that they went on. It's a run that'll never be duplicated. To have starting pitching perform in the manner in which
Four in a row.
Yeah, and that'll never be done again. A close second, you know, all my Chicago Bulls and friends. I'm from Chicago, but I'm a LeBron lover.
Whoa.
Yeah. I think the 3-1 comeback, LeBron beating the greatest team ever assembled, record-wise, was pretty impressive. And then to see the backtracking the audio and some of the interviews that took place after, how confident he was after being down 3-1 was pretty cool.
I would relate that to the Blackhawks down to Detroit.
Yeah. I'm not a hockey guy.
I'm not a huge hockey guy either, but like like you don't come back from 3-1 in those types of moments. I mean, it really is magical. Yeah. Like LeBron or not, it's pretty amazing.
Incredible. Yeah. So those are two that are high up there.
How amazing is it what Rory did this weekend? By the way, we're recording the Monday after the Masters. Rory just won his second Masters in a row.
Yeah.
We're both avid golfers. We love it. We're fans of the sport. How amazing is it? Only 4 people in the history of this planet achieved that. I want to say Nicholas, Faldo, Tiger, and now Rory.
Yeah. There's one that did it. A couple of people that have done it. But there's just the
Spaced
Masters.
out.
Just the Masters is those 4. Man, I've always been a Rory fan.
Yeah,
I think he
me too.
wears his heart on his sleeve. He's very honest, and sometimes to a fault, it gets him in trouble with the media because everything is twisted and turned in a way that, I loved his grit, man. Dude,
Going down to not mind under
to being up as much as he was to then get punched in the face and being down and dude, grit. And last year as well. Like it was no, walk in the park for him to win last year's event. He's just a gritty dude.
He was down 3 on 9.
Yeah.
And the comeback in the Masters against, by the way, a leaderboard that was filled with like big time vets, just a stacked leaderboard.
And then I also love that, he was at one point, I think, in the bottom 10% of driving accuracy.
Yeah. Until 18.
He's just special.
Why
man.
didn't he hit a 3-wood?
He's special. I mean, his average driving distance was 325.
That's just insane.
Insane.
On Friday,
on fairways, then the reason why he wasn't hitting fairways is their fairways are 70 yards wide.
They're tiny.
They're tiny. Yeah.
So on what hole was it? Hole 4? No, hole 3 on Saturday. 350-yard drive onto the green.
Yeah. He's special.
He's a special human.
He's a special talent. And he can't putt. I don't care what anybody says.
He's very average.
He is an average putter at best, and he's still winning majors with average putting.
That just tells you how good his long game is. And by the way, his chipping isn't bad.
No, he's touch
around the.
He's the number 2 player in the world for a reason.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's got to be Scotty. How about Scotty?
Awfully scary. You look up and all of a sudden Scotty comes from nowhere, and now he's in second. I'm thinking Rory's on 17. He's looking. He's going. If I go bogey, I got to play Scotty in a playoff.
Yeah, good luck. And Scotty missed a couple of putts that were right on the edge. He could have had 2 extra. It was so it's cinematic. It's so good.
Let's go. All right, greatest advice that you've given. Greatest advice that you've received.
You said be comedy. I got a good joke for the greatest advice I've ever received.
All right, great.
But greatest advice I've ever given. Being present. If you chose to be somewhere, be there and be present. I think a lot of young people with social media and phones and the ability to be easily distracted miss out on things by not being present.
What were you saying?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean that in all facets. I think that sometimes we spend too much time thinking about what happened in the past, or maybe too much time looking at what's in the forward. And I think being present is really critical. It's a gift. That's why they call it the present.
I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think being present is really, really critical. And then the greatest advice that I ever got was from my wife. And you would say?
And what was that?
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
Let's go. That sounds about right.
Yeah, no, but the worst advice that I've ever got, or the best advice that I ever got. It was from a Goldman Sachs mentor of mine. He's no longer with us, rest his soul. But he was also one of the biggest supporters and contributors to the Posse Foundation. And he always said to me, he's like, make sure that you always take care of yourself first, because he knew I was generous and I wasn't making a lot of money. And he was like, you're always giving generously, but you don't really have money to give. Why are you giving money? So he always said, you can give time and energy, save your resources, put your money away, save it, grow it, and invest in your financial future, because in 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, you're going to be able to write bigger checks.
Makes sense.
More meaningful checks. And I took that to heart. I still give generously.
But sometimes your time is actually more valuable.
100%. I'm more intentional about whether I give time, energy, or resources. And a lot of times, time and energy is at the forefront. And then if I really believe in something, we'll put some money behind it.
All right. Our guy, Caleb Williams. How many Super Bowls will Caleb Williams win?
How many do I want him to win, or how many will he win?
Will he win?
One.
One.
Yeah. I want him to win 3, but I think he'll win 1.
Do you think he'll win 1 because of the organization that he plays for, not being willing to spend money?
I just think it's hard to win.
Yeah.
It's really hard to win. And now more than ever, it's hard to win. You get one injury away from not winning.
Yeah.
I think that it has to set up so perfectly in order for him to win multiples. And I hope he wins 1. And I hope it's in the next 2 to 3 years. That'd be cool.
All right, final statement, final question. Leave us with something inspirational, something to think about. By the way, before you do that, if you haven't already, go to PichonGolf.com, right? And check out all of the apparel and all of the different phenomenal things they have, from golf shirts to amazing hats, quarter zips, hoodies, you name it.
I'm going to talk to Buku Branded. I'm going to see if we can do a collaboration on
that. Would be fantastic.
Yeah, I think that would be cool, something there. Yeah, we could brand. It's a more of a corporate and outing. Like if you're doing, 25 plus pieces, we can really help out there. Branding a sales team, yada yada. We can do that.
If you got an event too, Richie and I will do a combination deal. Yeah. Pichon Golf will come out, pass out, whatever.
Love it.
Golf with JMO will come out. We'll create content. Richie and I will switch off doing Beat the Pro at a hole. We'll create the content. We'll put it together and we'll promote your event.
There's an endless amount of things that we can do together. If you are interested in working with awesome people, let's connect.
Yeah.
The question you had was,
leave us with something inspirational.
Leave us with something.
You're always somebody who's got something positive to say. You've always got a cool thing to think about. Like, what's on your mind? What have you been telling people lately? What have you been saying to your daughters? Like, what's on your mind right now?
Yeah, I've shared a few.
You've put some huge nuggets out there already.
But intentionality, and when I say intentionality, I'll lean into the idea of being vulnerable and asking for help. Whether that's help in your personal life, you're dealing with something from a mental health standpoint, whether that's help in your professional life where you're either seeking a client or want a client, or just help in general. Like you want to understand something better than you understand it today. But that comes with a caveat. If you ask for help, when someone delivers that help, be ready to receive it and be ready to act on the help that you asked for. That's where the intentional part comes in.
Let's go. Yeah. Ramphis, Richie, Marrero.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. You're one of a kind.
Appreciate you, brother.
You've been watching the JMO Show. Thank you to our sponsors, Reiki Interiors and Buku Branded. By the way, check out Pichon Golf if you're looking for amazing support and the best in class insurance broker in the world. You're talking about Richie Marrero right here. He's going to take care of you. And if you had a chance to listen to this full episode, if you didn't get enough evidence as to how this man operates and the level of class and character that he operates with, and by the way, he's a partner at the organization, so he's bleeding into all of the other employees. And Bill, who's sitting at the top of the heap, he recruited a fantastic person in Richie, and Richie's a great judge of character, so the two of them together has got to be an absolutely killer combo. I don't know about you, but I think I'd want them on my team. It's been the JMO Show. I am JMO. We out.